Hey guys.
Hey.
We're going to just bring you guys a quick segment. We're going to try to start something a little new here on the pod, on the Good Fruit Pod. And we just want to cover the special events or the holidays or things, current events going on within this episode's posting. So I'll let Care start.
Yeah, well, just a huge thing that happened that kind of shook the world was Pope Francis passed away not too long from us filming this. So we wanted to just highlight the good work that he's done to highlight the LGBTQ community, what he's done for us as a community within the church, within one of the biggest churches and religions of Catholicism. He also, hey, he said dogs are going to heaven. So he was a really great pope. He did a lot for the community. He did a lot for the LGBTQ community, and so we wanted to highlight what all that he did throughout his time as the pope. Yeah, shout out Pope Francis, R.I.P. man. And then going on from that, we also wanted to just talk about on May 17th is International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. So we wanted to highlight that day coming up. It's just to raise awareness about the discrimination and prejudice and like violence that lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transgender, intersex, queer, all the whole community faces. To highlight it, bring awareness to it. Something that I learned from looking this up, and I think it's important to like share the history behind it because I didn't know this, is that's actually the day that commemorates the World Health Organization's decision in 1990 to declassify homosexuality as a mental disorder. So that's crazy that was not that long ago. And also, woohoo, we're not mentally ill for just being gay and existing. So we wanted to bring awareness to that and highlight a step moving forward in like the rights and activism for the LGBT community and our strive for equality and inclusion for everyone. Yeah.
That was good.
Thanks.
That's a big day.
I know. It's a big day. It's an important day. So don't be homophobic anymore. Don't be biphobic.
At least on that day.
At least on that day, you're not allowed to be that. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to be mean.
Every other day, though?
Sure. You are you are on the
other days. Speaking of other important people and other important days, Mother's Day is going to be on the 11th, and we just want to give a shout out to all of the moms out there, all the mothers,
the serving mothers.
You guys are such a big part of people within the community and just kids in general. Of course, moms, I don't really have to explain it that much, but you guys do so much and we do recognize it. So we just want to make sure that we point that out, especially shout out to my mom.
My mom too.
Yeah, they do a really good job and very supportive. Been with me through a lot through this. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day.
Another day that I want to recognize is going to be on May 19th, which is actually a Gender Pride Day. So this day raises awareness for individuals who don't identify with any particular gender. So while its exact origins are unclear, it gained visibility around 2017 as a day for celebration and advocacy for agender identity and inclusivity. And then the next day is going to be a very special day, which I love this day for myself too. May 24th, it's Pansexual and Panromantic Awareness and Visibility. This day promotes understanding of pansexuality, which is the attraction regardless of gender, and panromanticism, which is romantic attraction regardless of gender. And while the concept has existed longer, the terms gained prominence in the late 20th, early 21st century, and May 24th is a day for education and support.
Awesome. Heck yeah.
So I definitely read that off of Gemini. Thank you, Google. Thank you.
Thank you.
But we just think it's important that as a community, we understand what we're celebrating, who we're celebrating, why we're celebrating it, and just like our history, why it's important. And so I think me and Kara both could do better on that and understanding the history. But as we learn, we're going to make you guys learn with us.
Yeah. So, sharing education and the history that's not really talked about enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Great. So now we're going to get to the episode. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Sorry.
Look
Let's
who's back!
Hey, it wasn't my fault that I wasn't here. I don't think.
No, you had like a wedding.
I mean, yeah.
Carrington got married.
I got married, you guys. Me and my husband are so
Who?
happy. It was a long time coming, and now we're trying really hard for a baby. I wanted you to spit it out so bad. I was like, what can I say
That would
to
ruin our
make you spit
equipment.
out? Just all over your laptop,
I'm like,
all over our mic.
drinking tea.
And I have my gallon of Diet Coke
Hmm.
because I'm getting headaches again.
Oh.
I just need more in my life. Caffeine.
We just spent like 2.5 hours together because I set up what is the spider web of cords around our pod set right now.
It's like the lasers where it's like guarding a diamond. There's like lasers. That's what made you spit. Not me trying really hard for a baby with a man. That's it.
I'm like,
Anyway, yeah, there are wires everywhere.
yeah.
You can't see them, but they're really great. Maybe
I
you can on this camera.
yeah, if you guys aren't watching on YouTube, we have a special different view. We have a backup camera going, which it just looks really funny.
It's
So
just like a really great angle.
yeah, so you guys should check it out.
Yeah, if you're not watching, go watch on YouTube at the Good Fruit Pod, please.
Yes. Also, speaking of
Plug.
that,
Yes.
that was good.
Yeah.
Segue.
I know what I'm doing.
We
Welcome
should
me
run a
back.
pod together.
Do you want to make a pod with me?
The Good Fruit Pod now has a website. We've been
Mm-hmm.
posting about it on social media, but we always want to highlight it. You are going to find it at www.thegoodfruitpod.com. It's really awesome, and we have some really great features on there. We're going to try to promote this website as much as we
Yeah.
can, especially the applications that you
Mm-hmm.
can submit through it. We are looking for some people to join the production team, whether you are somebody that just wants to learn if they want to get into ministry or partake in some sort of like servicing of people. Maybe you're super passionate about the queer community. We will work with you and the skills that you have. No experience, that's fine. We'll build up your experience. Maybe you're someone that just wants to advance in their career or get into a new field. We're here for that. We are open to whatever help that you can give. We want to create the opportunities for others to know Jesus and to do good work and produce good fruit. So we always are going to highlight that. Go ahead and apply again, www.thegoodfruitpod.com.
Period.
I'm in HR.
Real good stuff. Yeah. That sounded rehearsed. It wasn't, but it sounded rehearsed.
Thank
It was well
you.
done. Well said. Yeah,
Someone give me a job,
I know.
please.
That website looks very professional,
Thank
so
you.
really
I
go
made
check
it.
it out. Yeah, Marissa made it. Another plug there. It's very professional. Go check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, if you see me eating a cookie,
No,
it's
you
because
don't.
apparently I'm pre diabetic.
So you're eating a cookie?
Yeah, because I'm starting to get like a headache.
Oh. It was a good cookie.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Shout out to Flower Child.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey, sponsor us.
Please.
I don't think they would.
They're actually
Oh.
really inclusive.
Then sponsor us.
Hey.
Hey.
Gluten free cookie. Chocolate chip cashew cookie.
It's really good, actually.
Which apparently I also need to cut back on gluten.
You're just one ball of like, can't have that, shouldn't do that, restrict this. I feel like a lot of people tend to get like that after a while, though. I
I'm
don't know.
so sad. I miss Dr. Pepper. I've been drinking
Oh,
poppies.
poppies are good though.
Yeah, low
Poppies are
key.
good.
The cherry cola.
Yeah,
Yum.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Here, I need to stop talking about myself. They have seen me for the past 3 episodes.
Okay. So, what do you want me to do?
What do you?
Ask me a question.
What's been going on?
I just been working, which is really good. But yeah, I've just been like working. It's like 4 or 5 days a week. Well, four. It's usually like 4 days a week. Sometimes it can be five, but not too bad. Not
How
too
is
bad.
it? EMT.
It's good. It's good. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning stuff about the job that I like and things I don't like, and yeah, I'm learning also that I'm just definitely in the right career field.
Really?
Like maybe this isn't the right job, but I'm definitely like I love helping people and like learning more about medicine and like different ways that illnesses present and like kind of understand. I can't really diagnose, but like it's kind of like detective work sometimes of like this is going on, this is going on, what could be happening, you know? And I
Yeah.
have a really good partner of that. He's like, what do you think based off of, you know, what do we have going on or like
Mhm.
just things like that. So, learning a lot about critical care stuff, which is really cool
Wow.
because I don't know if there's a lot of. I'm on a really good truck and with a really good partner. I'm learning quite a bit of things that maybe more entry level EMTs like myself wouldn't be getting otherwise, if that makes sense. So I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
So that just takes up a bunch of my time now. That's all.
Hmm.
Meh,
Yeah. Low key though, very big work. Like,
I guess. It doesn't feel like that.
no, it is. Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses.
Yeah,
They're so
rude.
dirty. Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm cleaning them.
Sorry. Sorry, I can't hear you because my glasses are off.
Mhm.
I can't see you.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Gracie. I don't think I shared this with you either yet. But Gracie, hope you're listening. I think she does. It's really cute. When we
Mm-hmm.
post, she's always like one of the first people to like our
Mm-hmm.
social media stuff, and it's really cute. She just got a job as the marketing specialist. It is a big girl position, and she's going to be doing professionally what she loves to do. And it's cute. It's exciting because the pod editing, low key, it's a lot. And you're going to get some experience here doing the editing. But like to see that go into fruition other than just what this personal kind of smaller thing that we do
Yeah.
into like a corporate larger setting is actually really cool. So Gracie,
Yeah.
shout out to you. We're
Shout
excited.
out.
Girl
That's really
boss.
cool. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so we're really proud of you on that.
Big girl job. Big
Yes.
girl jobs are fun. They can be scary.
I'm no longer at the firm I'm at, or I used to be at, and I'm so happy.
Period. Honestly, I think that's for the best.
I needed to
You
get out
weren't
of
very
there. I
happy.
wasn't.
No. So that's good.
Yeah. So we
Good
actually,
things.
when we post this, we're going to be coming back from the break.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be working while we're on the break. I actually am jobless, which has been the best time of my life. I have
Period.
enough to like hold me for like a good month or two,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. I'm very privileged in that sense. But now I can like work on the pod. And so the notes that I've been able to take and going into the subject matter that we are, it needs to be a bit more specific since everything else is so subjective. But it's been really nice just to have that time. And I didn't realize how much a 9 to 5 was consuming
Yeah.
so much of my time,
40 hours a week.
especially when you hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's
I
okay. It's okay.
yeah. Speaking of going into specific things, oh wow. Actually, I don't know. I was gonna just point out my whiteboard.
It's actually really good.
I just wanted to highlight it because I think I did a good job on it, and I think it's kind of silly. But it just talks about the topic that we're going into a little bit today, which Verse is going to cover more of specifically. That's where the segue comes in. Specifically, Verse is going to talk about. But it just says equal partners or trad wife.
Yes.
So I
So
thought that was funny.
no, it was good. And also Carrington did a really good job on that
I
song for
think I
what?
did a great job. I got inspired from The Companion, the movie with Sophie Thatcher. It's like The Companion. All right, never
I
mind.
haven't seen that. But it's funny because we are talking about companionship.
Yep, that's kind of why I thought about it too. Was because you
Oh.
mentioned that, and I was like, "That's a crazy movie."
I haven't told Care about what we're really talking about.
Not really. We're coming back from the break strong with nothing prepared for me. But that's usually when I do my best work.
Yeah, it
I'm
low
just out
key.
here riffing.
Low key, I have so much like technical stuff. I'm gonna be a little boring on the pod, guys. We're finally getting into the creation story.
Heck yes!
We have been clickbaiting you
We
guys
really have.
for like the past 5 episodes. And then we took a 2 month break.
I
So
know.
I'm so sorry. Things have been crazy, but we're
Mhm.
here now and we are going to jump into it. We're going to be talking about the creation story, what we call the divine design, which is what is God's design for marriage, or essentially the OG blueprint for marriage.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going to dive into that. And this is one of those topics too that we talk about Genesis being possibly metaphorical. I take it for what it is. Carrington's on like the flip side where she's like, I think it's a metaphor. There's going to be all sorts of debates and different interpretations. Everyone at the end of the day is going to have their own theology. Everyone knows God differently, but at the same time, God is the same no matter what. So there's contradict. So
You get it.
yes. So we're just giving you facts. I'm going to give you as accurate researched facts as I can. So I'm going to seem a little wordy throughout
Mm-hmm.
this, but it's necessary. I don't know, maybe if someone likes to take note, that might be smart. But we are literally going to be walking through translations. I know I've said that, like, I don't really consider the translation just because, like, the book itself in a broad view explains things correctly. But at the same time, I guess in this sense, or I do like to look at the translation, especially with the Old Testament because it is ancient Hebrew. I do think that that translation is important, but also looking at the context around it. So it's a mix of everything. I guess I need to say sorry again for saying that I don't really look at translations because we're actually going to be going through a ton.
Liar. You lie.
Yeah, this is a common theme on the pod.
Papa, you lie.
Where's that from?
You lie like Papa. You know. Papa?
Where's that from?
Stranger Things. 11.
Oh, that's right.
You
Okay.
lie!
Well, because I've been watching the Barbie movies, and
No
there's
way.
on the movie,
Princess and the Pauper.
I think so actually.
It's a good one.
No,
Oh,
a different one. I don't know what it was, but it's like
I
the
really
king
don't
is a
know.
single dad with like 12 girls, dancing
Uh,
princesses or something.
Something like that. I haven't really seen all of them. I mostly just know the Princess and the Pauper.
Well, they call him Papa,
Papa.
and my friends call me Papa. Come
Why?
here, Papa.
Your friends call. I've never heard anyone call you Papa.
My
What other friends do you have? You have other friends? I want a divorce.
I'm like, guys, hold on, we're gonna go get a divorce.
Hold on, real quick. We're gonna go down to the court.
One eternity later.
We're divorced.
So it's official.
Yeah, well, I'm
We're
like, the
divorced.
break was actually so that we could solidify the divorce.
We needed to like separate our assets real quick.
But we're here now.
We're back though, because this is something that can't be done separate.
It could, but you guys are gonna hate it.
If we were separate,
Yes.
like if we were on Zoom, could you imagine zooming in?
Oh, I meant
Being
like if
separate.
like a solo, like if you,
Oh, like I do a half and then you do half. But
yeah,
that
or
wouldn't make
something,
sense because I don't know what I'm talking about.
or like if
I'm
it,
here to just play off of you
or like if it
and
was just
learn.
me, it would be so boring. I'm not.
It looks like I bring a lot to the table.
All right.
All right, get on with
I'm
it.
like, this is why we got a divorce. I
Here,
wrote
put your
you.
feet up. Take a load off.
Yeah.
We're not
Okay.
doing anything important. Okay.
Great.
Should we talk about Jesus? Okay,
Yes.
cool. Or Genesis.
Jesus.
I
Genesis.
want to know about Adam and Eve.
Yes.
Or Adam and Steve.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yes.
essentially what we're debating right now.
Let's debate.
Great. You're gonna be the conservative side.
Yes.
You bring your husband.
I'm taking the rebuttal. Me and my husband.
I'm like,
Who would my husband
I
be?
don't know. I was just thinking that.
What man do I like? Not many.
One
Oop,
time
sorry.
we went to like a rodeo club, and Carrington was asked to dance by the most
He was so
handsome,
attractive. He was
handsome,
very handsome.
cordial man I
So like
have ever
great
seen.
dancer. I had so much fun.
Yes,
He
great
was
dancer,
spinning me around.
cowboy, like tucked in shirt, belt,
Mm-hmm.
boots. All right. We got to look at the Bible now. So, in order to understand the argument of why modern day homosexuality is acceptable in the modern day Christian faith or in the Christian faith in general, we are dissecting the different parts of the Bible that talk about what is relationships and what is marriage and what a romantic relationship is supposed to be, a romantic partnership. So, in order to discern whether homosexuality is or is not acceptable, we have to look at the blueprint. Thus, which is why we are starting in Genesis. We're finally getting to that creation
I
story.
know
And
it's been so long.
Genesis was actually kind of like a hard book to start out with because, in my personal journey, Genesis was the book that confused me the most because it is so directly like it's a man and it's a woman
Mm-hmm.
and they get married and that's it.
They don't get married.
Yes, which is true, which
Okay.
we're going to talk about.
Yeah, marriage.
But in the Christian faith, and from, mind you, okay, also warning, we always do both sides of the coin. That's something that we will stand on in this pod because we are going to find God's truth while we are a queer affirming podcast. we, at the same time, love God more than anything and are going to share his truth no matter what, because we're searching for the truth. We're helping you search for it. We don't want to be liable. So, in the Christian faith, marriage is a covenant promise. So it's something that is recognized by God that our legal system has, because there is an element of like survival to it in many different regards. It has made it something that doesn't necessarily connect with what's happening in Genesis, but at the same time, it's what we know it as today. So
Right.
this is the
It,
greatest reflection of marriage that we have in
in its purest form, because it's become such like a human tradition, like, and government now is like
yes.
part of it. So
Yes.
more spiritual.
Yes.
I like that.
So this is what we have in order to base what we know as marriage off
Right.
today. So we're looking at Genesis, which was actually huge for me because I remember I found all these verses about God's love and like Jesus even worked on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And then this one is so again directly like
In your
Adam
face.
and Eve. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
She was built for him.
yes,
Yeah.
no, for real. In the Christian faith, it very much is. Which, if you haven't read Genesis, you should probably just go read it. I don't want to explain it.
I'm not explaining
Um,
that.
it very much in the Christian faith, it is woman was made out of man. God created woman for man. Woman is supposed to serve man. Woman is supposed to serve him as a submissive.
Mhm.
Woman is like the second to man, so
Mhm.
less than.
Mhm. Crazy.
Yes. The servitude can only be between male and female. Sex is only supposed to be saved for marriage and is for procreative reasons.
If marriage isn't like a real thing, at least in the book of Genesis, how does it mention, or like does it mention a later, like more recent kind of ideology in the Christian church? You save sex till marriage.
It actually, Paul affirms it later on in the New Testament. Paul
Okay.
talks about like save yourself, like keep the marriage bed clean,
Mm-hmm.
which in the tradition, in the old Jewish tradition, and even going forward in the New Testament, it was understood that you save sex for marriage
Mm-hmm.
and that you don't want to defile it. This is also where we kind of get like, you want a woman who's a virgin so that it's pure.
Yeah, or I think of that from like a biological standpoint of like the man wants to make sure that the children are his.
So like,
Virgin until me.
I did not think about that ever.
I think that's very much like primitive, like it's just
Oh,
like a primitive thought that like I'm not a man, but I feel like that's where probably where
mm-hmm.
a lot of it is like I want to be the first one, and because then those are my children. I don't know why I have that accent when I say that. That's rude, but it just like.
We get it.
But yeah. So I mean, but in the grand scheme of things, of like from creation to Paul affirming it, I mean that is it that's a in my brain a newer ideology. But then for Paul to affirm it is kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is like, yeah,
Yeah, and it
do
was
this.
again it's just part of tradition, and
Yeah, it was a thing, but then he was like, yes, this is a real thing.
it's kind of like when Adam and Eve, they were naked, but then they became clothed after they realized what sin was, and now it's not something that God's like you need to wear clothes, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just something that humans have carried forward.
Recognized, yeah,
Yes,
and continued on. Okay,
yes.
cool.
Which is interesting though that you talk about the whole bloodline thing because it's bloodline is actually super important in theology
Mm-hmm.
and the way that God works. Like he connects it all together. And we even talk about blood in here because it is the sense of life down here on earth. So like when you said that, I was like, like I was like getting spiraling out.
I'm connecting the dots. That was crazy. Me and the psych ward, and then there's a camera up there. I'm like, I'm connecting the dots. They're like watching me like this freak again
We
with
look
their.
like we're in a prison interrogation.
I know it looks like I'm being interviewed by a police officer.
Like, so where were you?
I can't remember.
I'm like,
I'm like, I can't remember what I had for
oh,
dinner last night. But I'm
like,
like, I can't.
okay. So that's why we're starting in Genesis. But contrary to what we think we would start at, which is Genesis 1, we are actually going to start in Genesis 2.
No way. Crazy.
Let me tell you why. Okay, so yes, we do first see the creation of mankind and male and female, which we will be getting into the specific, and we're going to keep it between the two sexes right now the intersex thing and possible questions about polygamy right now. Polygamy? Yikes. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I haven't looked into it and I haven't researched it enough. We just need to stay on this.
When you say like polygamy and intersex, are you talking about like back then? Or like
Like if people were to come to me and be like, what do you think about polyamory? Does this fit? I'd be like, I literally have not researched it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am going to go off of what is the traditional on that, which I'm going to go.
Back to
This is where we're
tradition.
going to go with what Bible explains, just because I genuinely have not researched it enough to give an answer. But that marriage is a covenant between two people. So we're just going to keep it at that for now. Now the question is it between only male and female, or can it be a homosexual? Homosexual. Mental illness.
Whoa. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it is.
Have you seen that video?
Uh,
Oh, that's why you didn't get that.
we'll say the video.
The interviewer's like, so what do you think about pronouns, sir? And it's like a farmer.
Oh.
He's like, mental illness, and he like is going to say something and they cut it off.
I have seen that. But the way you said it wasn't enough context for me to like understand the video that it was from. Because I just, in my brain, I'm like, yeah, mental illness. Yeah. But think about it.
That'll get ya.
Gays do tend to be more mentally ill.
Yes, that is true. That's a fact.
Is that from the trauma that they've experienced by being gay? Or something else?
That is a debate. Anyway, so we're going to be starting in Genesis 2, not Genesis 1. So again, while Genesis 1, that's where we get and God created man and woman, and they were created in his image, and we hear all that. Genesis 2 is the deeper narrative of the creation of man and woman. So Adam and Eve. It gives a greater explanation and insight into what was actually happening on the sixth day, everything leading up to Adam and Eve. So that's why we're going to dive into that.
Okay.
So it's not like we're being negligent. We will actually go back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, because it talks about God making man in his image, and there is good information about like what his intentions are for man, but at the same time, we need to find out why he made the two and as they did. And so specifically, Genesis chapter 2, in the beginning, it talks about like God made the trees and the shrubs, and like interestingly, it talks about how like there were no shrubs yet on the ground because the rain hadn't come yet. And so it shows that God worked within nature, letting seeds grow as they are. Take that as you will.
That's pretty cool.
But it also shows that God does have the ability to be like tree.
Yeah.
Because he did, yeah. So there's other things in that. But everything up to that is pretty much a description other than where we needed to be at. So we're going to start specifically at Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, which is, man should not be alone. I will make a helper for him. Also, we're going to be looking off the NIV or New International Version of the Bible. I know I always talk about using the Revised Standard Version just because apparently it's like the most accurately translated. However, most people have the NIV, so I want to use that just because it connects with the broader audience.
Fair.
Great! Also, yes, I understand that there is talk about Adam's creation before we even get to the whole man should not be alone. It talks about Adam is formed from the dust of the ground. God, he's put in the Garden of Eden, right? He is given the task to care and work for the Garden of Eden, and he is given the command not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So
that's what it's the tree of good and evil. The tree of knowledge and good and evil. I thought
the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know the full name. I just knew it as the tree of knowledge.
Yes.
Of good and evil is its last name.
I guess it could have been whatever.
It could have been whatever.
Like
the tree could have just been a tree. Or it could have been whatever.
Like maybe that's just like a broad description.
Maybe.
God's like, no.
No, this was the name. It was written on the tree.
He's like,
no,
choking me. I'm like,
no, you don't get it. This is the name.
Written on the tree is crazy.
He put up a sign with it. It's like, this
Yeah.
is the tree name.
Carved. It's like when they put it, it's like the nursery where it's like those little things they stick in the soil.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
There's a stick
water
right there.
twice.
Water 2 times a day.
We're not gonna get into that. Adam as an individual, we aren't gonna evaluate because that is something different than what we're necessarily discussing in terms of like companionship.
Equal
And if
partners.
you want to find out like the creation of man and why God created man, I definitely recommend, of course, Blue Letter Bible. Find a theology study Bible. Just look up website articles. They're really great, but we're not going to get into that. Also, I wrote some things. I'm trying to do better at creating an outline for you guys. I think sometimes our facts can get really messy and all over, especially with the way that we can like spiral off.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But I wanted to give you some topic points because I learned this because I remember my elementary teachers had to have this up in the classroom.
Period.
Apparently, it was good for the kids.
Interesting.
So here's some. They're actually not topic points. It's questions being answered that we could possibly answer when reviewing these types of things.
Okay, cool.
So what I have listed: what was God's intended and divine design for the companionship that is now recognized as the covenant marriage, and what does it comprise of? What is the purpose of marriage? What is our marriage partner supposed to be like? What is a romantic connection supposed to feel like? Was the divine design intended for all men or just Adam?
Interesting. That last one's interesting.
Yes. So we're not going to answer all those
Oh.
right now.
Oh, okay.
But
But
in this little somewhat series of the creation story, we are going to be answering those questions.
Nice.
And even more, some maybe to you. I don't know. Great.
We'll find out.
Great.
Hey guys, so this is where we're gonna end this episode. We're just gonna cut it up short here. Sorry, it's kind of an abrupt ending, but this is where the episode ends for this one, and be sure to catch the next episode. But we're just gonna say goodbye real quick, and hope to see you next episode. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.
Bye.